gentlemen, and welcome to the Phoenix International Raceway for the Hot and Dry Racing 300K. This is the virtual oval Class A series, and we apologize that we are bringing coverage of this race to you much later than we anticipated. We are now creeping up on lap 50 of 187, so we are very late to the action. We apologize about that, but hello everybody, up in the FMTV booth. This is Clifford Evan, joined by the man who makes it possible for you to watch this, Dylan Simmons. Say hi, Dylan.
Hello, everyone.
So right now, leading the field is that number 34 machine of Mark Kiss. And, well, he has a pretty big advantage, or at least he did, over Harry Tiller, but Tiller really started to close up to the back end now, if you take a look at that.
Yeah, he's starting to slowly get there. He started reeling him in about a couple of laps ago, and it's about to start getting juicy.
Off of turn number 4 and onto the front straightaway. Tiller hungry for that race lead. Mark Kiss is going to be able to defend it off one more time. Here we're working lap number 48, but now approaching some lap cars. That's Andreas Top and the number 10 Toyota Camry. Also the 30 car Wolf Dietrich Haco, so that as well.
Yeah, the 24 Tiller diving into the inside.
Tiller trying to make it work.
Wow.
Slams the door. The 10 car stays up top of Andreas Top. You see also the 64 machine of Florius Elamishkis is sitting back there ready to pounce in case these two get into it just a little bit too hard. But now 34 car of Mark Kiss has his eyes set on Wolf Dietrich Hodo and that number 30 machine. He's the next car that he'll put a lap down.
Yeah, right now they're too wide. Tiller has the advantage. Maybe a little bit of contact? No.
Yeah,
close.
Elamishki sitting back, waiting to pounce, almost contact. Tiller able to clear Mark Kiss, so hand the race lead to Harry Tiller as we now put lap number 49 in the books.
Yeah, Tiller just kind of sat there just waiting for him to mess, for him, meaning Kiss, to mess up, and he did, and he paid for it.
Here comes Elamishki's now possibly taking advantage of this as well into turns 3 and 4, but the car is staying relatively even right now. It's about a car length and a half separating first through third, but now Harry Tiller has the roadblock of Wolf Dietrich Hotho ahead of him, so this should spice it up just a little bit.
Yeah, top three are all within about a second of each other, about half a second, but that 24 of Harry Tiller is just starting to slowly drive away.
Yeah, but as I said, he's that obstacle of the number 30 machine of Hodo in front of him. Hodo's going to give them the bottom line for a moment. Looked like he was going to cut down for a second, but he's going to keep it up there, and that allows Tiller to get to the inside across the start-finish line. Tiller actually not able to clear him, and the 30 is going to play a little bit defensive and not going to give it to him, but he way overshoots turn number 1, and that allows Tiller to get to the inside, and he's able to clear him. Here comes Kiss to the inside as well, but the 30 shuts the door.
Yeah, you do realize now it's an open dog leg. You don't have the cones cutting it off, but they will not use that apron.
Yeah, nobody really taking to that apron most part here at Phoenix International Raceway, but now the 30 machine of Hodo blocking off Mark Kiss just a little bit, but this is all working in the favor of Harry Tiller as he's really beginning to pull away now as we work lap number 53 of 187. Yeah,
there's really been only one person, and looks like stuff's about to get juicy back here with the 30 blocking the Elamishkis. Got by him using that outside line.
Speaking of Harry Tiller right now, just thought I'd let you viewers know he is currently 17th in the point standings here for this Class A series for the Virtual Oval League here on iRacing. He has a grand total of 192 points compared to points leader Frank Schaterik's 508. So Schaterik really running away with it right now on the racetrack. He is currently 5th. But he's in the midst of that huge pack for the race lead here as we take a look back at that number 50 machine.
Yeah, he's stuck on the high line of Wolf Dietrich Hotho. Now he gets by him coming across the line.
So Hodo is going to fall victim to another lap here on the leaderboards. He goes 4 laps down now. So into the wall goes the 84 machine. And that is Balyi, Zol Balyi. So to the inside goes the 50, your series points leader of Frank Schaterik.
Yeah, Balyi wasn't really expecting that one to happen, I guess.
Yeah, just pushed out wide coming off of turn number 2. Cloud the outside wall, sparks flying, but the 50 goes to his inside. So Mark Kiss was overtaken by Florian Nelamishkis. Apologize about that. And so now Nelamishkis into the second spot, but Harry Tiller still running away with this race lead right now. This is going to be a very good points race for him. As I said, he's in all the way down in 17th in the point standings, but a win tonight will definitely boost his campaign across the line.
Yeah, looks like Nelamishkis is slowly wanting to try to reel him in, but conserve the tires at the same time, because the last caution came out around 20 to 30 laps ago.
Off of turn number 2, he's not going to use the dog leg here. Don't see really anybody using that dog leg, but the gap into the wall goes to 34 of Mark Kiss, but no harm, no foul for Kiss. But Tiller opening up about a 2-second gap back to second place, as you can see at the bottom of your screen here. It's 1.7 roughly seconds and still counting.
Yeah, slowly, Kiss is starting to slowly more lose ground ever since he's been passed by Harry Tiller.
Yeah, Tiller, however, actually maybe falling off just a little bit. You saw Nelamishkis on the bottom of your screen here. You saw the gap did close by about a 10th last time by. Will it do the same this time? We'll find out. No, it stays about the same. Closes a little bit. But Harry Till, excuse me, off of the corner. Into turns 3 and 4. Tiller looking very, very strong right now. He rounds turns 3 and 4, washes up the track just a little bit, but it's only going to benefit him on it as he diamonds the corner. And he will put lap 59 in the books. We're now working lap city at 187 here at Phoenix International Raceway. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Hot and Dry Racing 300K for the Class A Series, part of the Virtual Oval League here on iRacing. A quick top 5 rundown here. Harry Tiller leads the field. Second place is Florian Nelamish, but that could change here very, very quick as he has Mark Kiss all over his back end. Points leader Frank Shaterik is in the 4th spot, and then 5th is Zalt Bal Yi. If we take a look back at that fight for 4th and 5th, Bal Yi really closing up to Shaterik there across the start-finish line. This is really starting to heat up for that final position in the top 5.
Yeah, you can tell that Bal Yi is slowly getting more and more impatient with it. Him wanting to get more speed with the car, but he just can't find it.
But also, he has a relatively good cushion here as well. It's over 8 seconds back to 6th place. That is Michael Kravzik. So, I mean, he can get a little aggressive with it, maybe lose some ground, but he has an 8-second cushion, so I think he's okay. The top 5 have really broken away from the rest of the field. And even if we were to slim that down even more, we could say that Harry Tiller has pretty much broken away from the entire field. In fact, put a couple drivers a lap down on this green flag run. And while it's just under 2 seconds back to Florian Nelamishkis in the 2nd spot, but Mark Kiss wants that 2nd position right now, and I don't think he's going to go down without a fight as he's really starting to pull back. But up into the wall is Frank Shaterik, the series points leader. Heavy damage to the right quarter panel of that number 50 machine, and that allows Zalt Bal Yi to grab the 4th position as he rounds turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, it looks like the 50 just got loose going into 3, and then the center just found the wall.
Very unfortunate for your points leader. He only has a 9-point difference back to 2nd place in the standings, so this is definitely not going to necessarily help his campaign, but there's still a long time left in tonight's race. Just over 120 laps remain as he blinks just a little bit, actually. But he's going to still remain on the racetrack in the 5th position.
Yeah, it looks like the 60... Yeah, the 64 of Nelamishkis and the 34 Mark Kiss, they're slowly battling it out back there. Kiss just keeps on staying on the bumper but can't find a way to use it.
Yeah, and this is not helping them out whatsoever here on the racetrack. It allowed Harry Tiller last time across the line to open up a 2.426 second gap. Back to Nelamishkis in the 2nd position, and while battling really, really hard with the driver, in this case, Mark Kiss, is not going to help you out on the racetrack because you're just a little more cautious, trying not to get into one another. Kiss gives the look to the inside. The 64 is going to leave the door open here just a little bit, but Kiss does not have enough momentum to do it. They wash up out of the corner, almost into the wall for Nelamishkis across the line. Lap 65 in the books.
Down to the inside goes Kiss.
Side by side, the 64 though, Nelamishkis makes it work top, but Kiss is not going to let it go that easy. through the back straightaway tri-oval. Here they come onto the brakes into turns 3 and 4. Into the wall goes Nilomishki's. Kiss is still there, though, and the 64 did not lose too much speed, but look at Zoltbalyi back there, waiting to pounce, and he's not far off either. These guys going side by side, he's really allowing him to close up. Now it's only about a 4-car length worth gap.
Yeah, that little scuffle made this lead for Harry Tiller 3.3 seconds at the line.
Which is just remarkable. Tiller with a very strong car did not necessarily show it right out of the gate, as it looked like Mark Kiss was going to be the car to beat, but now handed over to Harry Tiller, and right now just dominating the field right now.
Yeah, going into turn 1, he just has to just cruise around the track. He doesn't really have to push the car any much, but apparently there's a pass. The 34 of Mark Kiss finally passed Florian Nilomishki's.
But Nilomishki's is not going to give it up just that easy. And look at Balyi back there. Again, just waiting to pounce with the 64. Washes way up the track, Nilomishki's, but is able to slow it down to keep it off of the marbles, but he's going to lose a lot of ground in comparison to
Oh!
Just barely. I'm not sure if he touched it.
What a close call. No, he did not.
That was very, very close, but here comes Balyi now trying to grab that third and final podium position. He wants a bronze medal out of this race through the tri-oval.
Wow, the 64 got into the wall going into the corner.
I believe he did that a couple laps ago, but his car not too damaged, but look at Balyi in that 84 machine looking extremely strong right now, trying to get past Nilomishki's right now.
Yeah, he's been slowly making his move, but the 9 car, look at that. The 9 of Nolden has gotten back out on track, and his car is destroyed, but he'll make it work.
Now, I think the reason Thomas Nolden took to the racetrack is because he's currently second in the point standings, only 9 points out of it. So really what he has to do right now this late in the season is just persevere and at least finish to get some points on the board. Ever since, like, literally the first lap of the race, he has been in the pit lane with heavy damage. He was the cause of the first caution of the race, which was unfortunately not on the broadcast, as we were not live at that point. But Nolden sat in the pit lane for an extremely long amount of time, over a half hour, but got back onto the racetrack. He's 9 points behind points leader Frank Shuterek, so he's just trying to get as many points on the board as he can here to try to close the gap as we're in the latter stage of this season.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to take the guess by the way his car looks. He didn't take any optional repairs. He just got that engine fixed, and he decided to go.
Yeah, that would be his very safe bet. So Nolden currently 65 laps down on the racetrack. And while that number 9 machine, that Dane Bramage Chevrolet SS, again, just trying to get some points on the board here, as his closest competitor in the point standings is, of course, points leader of the 50 car, Frank Shuterek. But Dylan, Shuterek down pit road.
Yeah. Looks like he might get all 4s and a little bit of damage fixed, fill it with Sunoco fuel, and get out of there.
Yeah, getting tires here, taking fuel to drop the jacks, and he's out and away. So currently at the moment, 5 positions separate Frank Shuterek and Thomas Nolden on the racetrack at the moment. So at this rate, if Shuterek can just keep it how it's going, he's going to open the gap on Nolden, which is unfortunate that in the first lap of this this race here.
24 Harry Tiller down pit road.
So possible green flag pit stops coming around, but back to what I was saying here, 5 spots separate, well now I'll make that 3 spots, separate Shuterek and Thomas Nolden. So Nolden may not be able to necessarily improve this week in terms of point standings, but he still may be able to at least not fall too far off by heading back out on the racetrack and getting some points on the board. But green flag pit stop cycles coming around, Melanishki's down into the pit lane, Nilomishki's, excuse me, followed by the 84 of Balyi. So who does that hand the race lead over to?
I believe that puts it back in the hands of Harry Tiller.
Not quite sure here. We're going to have to wait a moment here for everything to get back sorted out. Timing and scoring just a little bit slow to update through all of this chaos through the green flag pit stop cycle, but keep your eye on Frank Shuterek in the 50 car. He is a lap down, but he pitted a little bit earlier, so maybe hoping to take that back as everybody else pits.
24 cars going into turn 1.
We're going to have to wait to see who cycles around as the race leader. It's going to be Balyi.
Balyi.
So that's very good for him.
Wow. Did he? I think he did pit. No, he didn't.
Bolly is down in
Bolly's
sixth
down.
in the point standings with 436 points. He's 72 out of Shaterek's points lead, but nonetheless, being the race leader right. Oh, but he is down pit lane.
Harry Tiller takes the lead.
Right back. So Bolly's out, but didn't he just come down?
I think he just did
I
a
thought
drive-through.
Bolly came down.
Maybe he missed a stall.
Or sped down pit lane, but last time we saw him, he was coming down pit lane.
Contact! 24 is loose. He's gonna save it.
Good
Contact
save.
with the 30 of Wolf Easter Cotho.
Now, I'm not quite sure what may have happened. I really didn't get to see it, but if there was contact made with the two, that could just be because one of the drivers going at it a little too hard, and I think a scenario like that should just not occur at all because Hodo, not even on the lead lap, he's 5 laps down at the moment. I think when the 24 came around by him, he maybe should have just made it a little bit easier for him, not necessarily putting the blame on Hodo by any means, but the fact that there was contact does mean that it was close quarter racing, which I do not think should happen when a leader is coming around to lap a driver. But anyway, it's almost a 5-second gap back to Mark Kiss in the second position right now. So Harry Tiller just handing it to the rest of the drivers here on the racetrack as he rounds turns 3 and 4. He looks like he cannot be stopped right now. What do you think, Dylan?
No. The only way Tiller's gonna be stopped is if he gets wrecked, and I don't think that's gonna happen.
Field very, very spacious right now. He's approaching the 2 car of Tobias Sievers. Sievers out of the corner. He's currently the final car on the lead lap, but that is about to change as here comes Tiller. Gonna peek to the inside. No, thinks better of it, but some heavy rear end damage to that number 2 machine of Sievers. The 24, though, staying with him here. Just gonna try to get by him nice and easy. Hopefully the 2 car of Sievers does not make it too hard. It's been a very long time since we've seen a caution, upwards of 40, maybe even 50 laps now that we complete lap 79 here. But Sievers not making it all that easy. But then again, the 24 car of Harry Tiller not in a huge rush to get by. He's gonna use the dog leg for like one of the first times of the race to get to the inside of the 2 machine and put him a lap down. So that leaves now 6 cars on the lead lap. The last of them is Johannes Lehmann in 36 machine, who right ahead of him is the 22 of Michael Kravzik. So if you take a look at that 22 machine of Michael Kravzik, you'll see right behind him is Johannes Lehmann. That's the fight for 5th and 6th respectively.
Yeah, I think they aren't using the dog leg because of one reason. The last time they used it, it caused a pile up on the backstretch.
Yes, it did. And of course, that incident was not caught on the broadcast as we were not live yet at the moment, but a huge incident occurred last time. They tried to use the dog leg, so drivers being relatively cautious right now. But take a look at that 5th position. Michael Kravzik, not far behind, is Johannes Lehmann in the 36 machine. And I don't know about you, Dylan, but it seems that despite the damage on the left front of Lehmann's car, he has a stronger car, I feel, compared to Kravzik, but it's still quite a big gap between the two.
Yeah. There's nothing really you can do about it. He's just kind of sitting back there waiting.
Out of turn number 2, Kravzik trying to hold on to that final spot in the top 5. Right now, Kravzik in the point standings sits all the way down in 13th with a grand total of 349 points. He's 159 points out of Shaterek's points lead. And well, Frank Shaterek right now sitting in the 4th position, 10 seconds out of the race lead. He comes out of turn number 4, comes out of turn number 2. And well, it's very unfortunate for Zolbalgi because he was in the race lead at one point and then for some reason pitted twice, or at least went down pit lane twice. Maybe not both of them were pit stops, but nonetheless, he went down pit lane twice, and well, it cost him. So now he's down in the 9th position, 1 lap down here. And well, speaking of lap down, the driver leading the guys 1 lap down, Tobias Sievers. Well, he's just gonna have to try to stay out of trouble here, and if a caution were to come out, he will receive the lucky dog. But Dylan, speaking of cautions, there doesn't appear to be one anywhere near us on the radar. The caution is way out of reach right now. The cars are so spaced out.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Upwards, creeping up on 60 laps. Yeah, upwards of 50, creeping up on 60 laps since we've last had a caution flag. And well, these drivers, I I don't know, maybe they do want to caution just a little bit, sit back and relax, but someone who really could relax right now either way. Harry Tiller in the 24 machine has over a 5-second gap back to second place Mark Kiss on the racetrack. So Tiller can just sit back and relax. He has a decently large sized cushion. He rounds turns 3 and 4 while Kiss just now rounds the tri-oval on the back straightaway. Now he enters turns 3 and 4. So Tiller can relax just a little bit. He has a very strong machine across the start finish line in that 24 car.
Yeah, he does have about a 4 coming up to 5-second lead, so he can just sit back like he did last time.
However, the gap did close by just a couple hundredths of a second. Mark Kiss picking up speed just a little bit later in this run, but you see not far behind, Florian Nelomishki is in the 64 machine, also trying to catch up to Kiss, so they're about evenly spaced right now. Or excuse me, they're about the same compared to last time across the start-finish line. But Nelomishki's nonetheless is really trying to get back up to Kiss and try to make the pass as they enter turns 1 and 2.
Yeah. Really interesting things have been happening this race. 2 cautions when we were not live, and ever since we've become live, no cautions, not to be seen.
And also, again, folks, we would like to apologize for being very late to the action here. We had some technical difficulties leading up to the start of this broadcast, but nonetheless, we are up and running a little bit later than we anticipated again. But we'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. And, well, the racing is far from over, ladies and gentlemen. Not even at the halfway point here just yet. And this is the Hot and Dry Racing 300K for the Virtual Oval Class A Series.
Yeah, 24 Tillers led the most laps. About 5-second lead now.
Yeah, just give or take a couple hundredths of a second. He's around that 5-second lead mark right there. It was 5.047 at the line. Back to second place, Mark Kiss. But a pass on the racetrack, and that is for the 8th position as Zolt Balyi gets to the inside of the 16 machine of Gabriel Storr. So Storr will surrender that 8th position. And now that puts Balyi up to the 8th position. Now both of those drivers are competing for that lucky dog. And right now, Balyi takes off another position. So now he's going to have to catch back up to Tobias Sievers in the number 2 machine. Sievers, however, on basically the opposite end of the racetrack in comparison to Balyi. So Balyi has to make up a lot of ground. And if he can get up to Sievers, get by him, he will get the lucky dog next time a caution flag does fly. But then again, as I said earlier, Dylan, a caution nowhere on the radar at the moment.
Yeah, nobody's really expecting one either. If it would happen, it would probably be one of the lap cars fighting for that position. Maybe Balyi would be involved.
Tiller opening the gap here just a little bit over Mark Kiss. And, well, little by little, Tiller is just running away once again. A very good points week this will be for Tiller if all goes according to plan for that 24 team. He's currently, as I said, 17th in the point standings, so this is going to be very good for him in terms of points. He's approaching that number 9 machine of Thomas Nolden. Nolden currently 2nd in the point standings, pretty much the only driver that can compete with Frank Shitterick, at the moment, because he's 9 points out of the points lead. The next closest car behind him is 48 points out of the lead, and that would be, of course, 3rd place, which belongs to Florian Nelomishki. So Nelomishki's, I mean, not doing too bad right now. He's 3rd in the 3rd and final podium position, so he's 1 position ahead of points leader Frank Shitterick. So I apologize about that. He should be able to improve just slightly over Shitterick, but also what will be very unfortunate for Nolden, however, is that he is currently 8 spots behind Shitterick right now on the racetrack, which will definitely hurt his chances at the championship, and he's about to go yet another lap down to make that 64 laps that he is off of the lead lap. Tiller out of turn number 4 and across the start-finish line.
Yeah, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, so we will be back with you shortly. right, and we are back after fixing some technical difficulties. Sorry about that for anyone who was watching. I'm deeply, deeply sorry. I did not notice that until literally just now.
Yeah, we did not know that we were missing an overlay for the majority of the race up to this point. So again, we apologize for the technical difficulties.
Oh
but
dear
Harry
God,
Tiller-
we're still missing an overlay.
Are we really?
Yes, we are. Good look. Unfortunately, we have no idea what to do to fix it. I'm gonna try to hit a couple of buttons and see if it works.
But in the meantime here, Harry Tiller still with the race lead. It's opened up to about 6.5 seconds now to Florian Nelomishkis, who did get by Mark Kiss. So that is very, very interesting. So now Kiss bumps down to third position on the racetrack. Nelomishkis, after sitting behind Kiss for the majority of this entire green flag run, finally has had enough and gets by. And then it's over 12 seconds back to Frank Shaterik in the fourth position. He is the series points leader right now with just over 500 points, 508 points to be exact.
So finally at lap 100, we finally got the overlay, and we are so sorry for anybody who was watching and thought we were thinking that we did have the overlay, but we did not. So, Tiller still leads. Oh boy, I'm missing something that I need.
As I said, Nelomishkis did get by Mark Kiss and is pulling away from Kiss just a little bit. But all of this happening in the favor of Harry Tiller. He has just under 6.5 seconds back to second place. So he can really just sit back and relax and just click off some nice and consistent laps and just, well, he has a big cushion too. So maybe if he gets a big wiggle off of one of these corners, as long as he's able to save it here, he should be okay, because again, he has that very big cushion back to second place. It's just over 6 seconds back to second place, Florian Nelomishkis at the moment.
Yeah, technical difficulties now fixed. All I did was hit a button and it fixed itself.
So a quick rundown on your field right now at the moment here. Harry Tiller, obviously your race leader, over second place. Florian Nelomishkis, third is Mark Kiss at the moment. Frank Shaterik sits in the fourth position. He is a series points leader, so all he really has to do here is at least get a good finishing position to help boost his points here just a little bit.
Wow.
Fifth is Michael Kravzik. Sixth is Johannes Lehman, who, by the way, is very close to Kravzik. We'll take a look at that battle here in just a few moments. This is the fight for fifth and sixth, folks. Then the first driver off the lead lap, one lap down, Tobias, Sievers, and then we have Zalt Balyi in that eighth position, Ninth goes to Gabriel Storr. 10th goes to Andreas Top, who is coincidentally also the number 10 machine. 5 laps down is Wolfie Kogo, and then Thomas Nolden, who's currently second in the point standings, back down pit lane, getting tires. Dylan, he's currently 64 laps down. But Lehman gets by Kravzik, but I don't know if Kravzik is going to let it go that easy, but it appears that actually Michael Kravzik has lost connection to the server, and now he rejoins back in front of Lehman. So taking a look at that fight for fifth and sixth. Kravzik trying to hold off Lehman, but his internet hold up. He disappeared yet again, and Lehman goes back up into the fifth position. Johannes Lehman holding on to the fifth spot right now as Kravzik, you see, dropping heavily down the running order on the left-hand side of your screen.
Yeah, a lot of unknown things happening, but the 24, you can see him starting to get a lot more wiggly out of turn 4.
And as you say that, last time across the start-finish line, Nelomishkis closed. Well, actually, we weren't really necessarily keeping tabs on how much he did close, but we can say how close he is now. Just a couple laps ago, it was over 6 seconds, but now it's just
5.
under 5 seconds. So it's closing heavily right now. Nelomishki's doing a very good job, or at least did a very good job, conserving the tires earlier in the run and is now showing some speed. And it looks like Tiller was actually a lot harder on the tires than we had assumed, and now it's not working in his favor as he's starting to fall off quite a bit. As you look at the bottom of your screen, you can see the gap between first and second. Tiller Nelomishkis about 5.1 seconds as they cross the start-finish line here. Nelomishkis just has to keep hitting his marks, however, and he may just pull to get by Tiller.
Danke, Wolf.
Yeah, it's just what he needs to do. And if so, he does good. And if it does work out for Nilomishkis, well, poor Tiller, if he pits now, I don't know, when's the next flag pit stops?
I don't know. Well, the longest green flags anybody has done was committed by Wolf Dietrich Hodo. He currently has a 38 and counting lap stint going on right now. Hodo is down in the 11th position right now, so expect green flag pit stops here to come relatively soon. 4 pit stops so far under the belt of Johannes Lehmann, compared to just about everybody else who has 2 pit stops right now at the moment.
Yeah, a lot of pit stops going on. Different strategies working as the 10 of Andreas Top is on pit road.
Yeah, green flag stops coming around. Top, well, now is being scored with a 1-lap green flag stint. Before that was just over 30 laps on his green flag stint. So these drivers just getting around the 35, 40-lap green flag stint range. And, well, now we could expect some green flag pit stops, but it looks like Tiller getting back into his rhythm now as it's opened up to about 5.5 seconds back to Nilomishkis now. So what appeared to be a closing gap between Tiller and Nilomishkis has now began to fizzle away here just a little bit.
Oops. Accidentally hits caps lock, and that's not a good thing, especially for this. Yeah, thanks, Egan. I know you're watching, and thanks for pointing that out to me.
So currently, it looks like fastest driver on the racetrack would have to be Mark Kiss. Actually, excuse me. Top 3, very, very close. But really the fastest car on the racetrack, however, he is actually not on the racetrack anymore. He was, however. Oh, he's back on now. I apologize about that, folks. He's been on and off every once in a while. Thomas Nolden, the fastest car on the racetrack, just over a 28-second lap time last time by, compared to just about everybody else who's getting 29-second lap times. So, late in the run here, tires beginning to fall off here just a little bit. Working lap number 116. Harry Tiller still out front. Here in the Hot and Dry Racing 300A for the Virtual Oval Class A Series. And, well, at the moment it looks like Tiller just really cannot be stopped. As a couple laps ago, second place Florian Nilomishkis had started to close in on him later in the green flag run that we have had. But Tiller just opened the gap right back up, and now it's just over a 6-second gap. Right back where they left off, and is now under actually 6.5 now at the moment. So very, very fast 24 machine of Harry Tiller, but he's very long into his green flag stints. To be precise, he is currently 43 laps into his green flag stint, which is the fourth longest green flag stint. The longest green flag stint right now, of course, goes to Wolf Dietrich Hodo, who's on a 46-lap green flag stint. And has no intentions of pitting, it seems, at the moment.
Yeah, Tiller just has been laying back a bit, just keeping the way he's been doing, and if he continues to do that for the next about 60 to 70 laps, he'll be cruising right onto the victory lane.
Yeah, just over 60 laps remain. In fact, there was 70 laps to go last time across the start-finish line. Now 69 laps remain. And off of the corner, Tiller onto the tri-oval on the back straightaway is not going to use the dog leg, but he's really beginning to open the gap. It was 6.705 last time across the start-finish line, but now if you take a look, Mark Kiss reeling Nelomishki's back in. So we said Nelomishki's may have been conserving tires a little bit earlier, but now it looks like they're actually falling off a lot more than the other drivers, and Mark Kiss wants to get that silver medal right back as they exit turn number 4. Kiss wants that second spot.
Yeah, Kiss and Nelomishki's has just been sitting next to each other all day. They're like two magnets. But Kiss just can't find a way to get by Nelomishki's.
Yeah, he got very, very close in turns 1 and 2, but it's going to fall back off yet again. But again, all of this fighting going in the favor of Harry Tiller, who has now opened the gap to about 7 seconds back to second place, as you can see on the bottom of your screen. So, a relatively remarkable gap in favor of Harry Tiller right now as he exits turn number 2. It is just a tad bit over 7 seconds. And, well, Tiller looking extremely strong. Again, he's 17th in the point standings coming into this race, and, well, if all goes according to plan, he may just be able to really boost his point standings because, obviously, a win will definitely benefit you here in this series.
Yeah, the 9. The 9 machine of Thomas Nolden going by 64 Florian Nelomishki's.
As we see here, the 10 machine of Andreas Top on pit lane right now with some right side damage. I'm not quite sure if, well, he's been in the pit lane for a very long time, over 10 laps.
Oh, 64 Snappy.
Oh, geez.
The 22 Michael Krafzik will get by him.
It's been a long time since we've had a caution flag, and, well, we may just be due for one. Krafzik not on the lead lap. He's currently 13 laps down. How did that happen? Last time we saw him, he was on the lead lap fighting for 5th.
Yeah?
Oh, yes, he did have internet issues. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
So he's out onto the racetrack with a relatively intact machine and a fresh set of Goodyear tires as he's just flying through the field, possibly going to get back up to the race leader, Harry Tiller, and cut his amount of laps down from 13 to possibly 12 if he can get back up to Tiller. He's approaching that second place in the point standings driver, Thomas Nolden, and the 9 machine. Nolden cannot afford an incident right now because he's currently 9 points again behind Frank Shiderick's points lead, and he does not want to lose any positions. Of course, being very, very far, and in fact 8 spots far down the running order in comparison to Shiderick. I think he's just going to want to maybe just put up as many points as he can here just simply by finishing the race. So he's definitely going to lose some points in the standings, so he's not going to necessarily benefit from this race. But again, just wants to get some points on the board so he doesn't fall too far down the order in the point standings.
Yeah, quick camera change there. Sorry for my English. Yeah, the 22 Krafzik, 10th.
13 laps down behind him, Andreas Top, who's currently 19 laps down in that 11th spot, still sitting on pit lane in that 10 machine. I'm not quite sure what's happening there, possibly getting some damage repaired, but Andreas still down pit lane right now.
Yeah, fastest lap of your race does not go to the leader.
Top rolls out of pit lane. Sorry to interrupt, Dylan.
Yeah, but the fastest lap of the race does not go to the leader. It goes to Zos Balyi, the 27.738.
Very quick number 84 machine of Balyi. Unfortunately, it hasn't been able to really work out in his favor right now. He's currently 1 lap down, but take a look at this, Dylan. If we go to Zalt Balyi, you see right in front of him, Tobias Sievers. This is the fight for the Lucky Dog. The first spot, 1 lap down. This is the fight for it. Round 3 and 4. Sievers ahead of Balyi out of the corner here.
It's going to be some tight race, and Balyi, if the caution comes out, does want that lucky dog. He has. By the way, you've seen that lap time has been very quick. He's just been unable to keep it consistent.
He went 0.2 of a second faster than Sievers last time across the start-finish line. So Balyi really on the move. Closed again, 0.2 of a second. So he's just going to have to use his speed to get by Sievers.
Yeah, it looks like he's just letting that thing roll through the corners.
Some heavy rear end damage to Sievers, but I believe he's had that all race, if I'm not mistaken. But a completely intact car for the most part, except maybe some right front fender damage to Bali, but Bali definitely a lot cleaner machine, which can only make us assume that he's stayed out of trouble less than Sievers. And he now peeks to the inside for a second, thinks better of it.
Sievers, you heard him let off the gas. That means he got a little bit swirly or loose going through that dog leg.
Bali still sitting back with about a half a length separating him and Sievers. Last time across the start finish line, he went only 6 1/1000ths of a sec quicker than Sievers. So unfortunately, I hate to say it, Dylan, but 6 1/1000ths of a second. I don't know. That might not be able to get it done.
Take a guess who's down pit road.
And down
Harry Tiller's down pit road. Hands the leads off to the 34 Mark Kiss, getting his bonus points for leading the lap.
Also, while this is happening, Zoltali comes down pit lane as well, so Sievers will be able to hold up. Oh, 24 car almost overshoots his pit stall. That's Harry Tiller. But so Tobias Sievers now running away with one now. Really now as he down pit lane. Also Gabriel Storr down pit lane. Those are the 3 drivers who are 1 lap down. Those 3 drivers were the ones fighting for that lucky dog position. Now Sievers down pit lane. It looks like he's not going to be able to get too much of an upper hand compared to the other 2 drivers on lap down. The final car the final car on the lead lap is Johannes Lehmann in that 5th spot. 4th goes to Florian Nelamishkis. 3rd is Harry Tiller, but of course the running order shuffling all over the racetrack. Mark Kiss is your race leader at the moment, and he still has yet to pit, which is definitely hurting him out of the racetrack. Very old tires for Kiss. He and Frank Shatterick are both on 60-lap green flag stints. Wolf Dietrich Hodo with the longest green flag stint of 61 laps and counting.
Yeah, Hodo, he might run out of fuel. That's probably what he's going to push himself to.
61 laps. I did not even think cars could run that long. And, well,
wow.
Here comes the 16 machine of Gabriel Storr. He's currently 2 laps down now as he pitted while Kiss stayed out. So Kiss was able to lap Storr yet another time. So Gabriel Storr in that 16 machine, unfortunately, will fall 2 laps down, but he's going to sneak by Mark Kiss and will put himself back to only 1 lap down. I don't think Kiss really minds it that much because he's on very old tires and knows that he really can't compete with Storr, who, Storr right now at the moment is on a 1-lap green flag stint. He's 1 lap into his run, while Mark Kiss is on a 62-lap green flag stint. So, 61-lap pressure tires for Storr. I don't think Kiss was going to really put up a fight with him whatsoever.
The 64 of Florian Niliminski goes by the 34 for the about 4th time this race, I'd have to say. Those 2 really do not like each other. Tiller moves up to the 2nd position, though.
Nelamishki's on much pressure tires. Again, that like some 6-lap pressure tire mark for that 64 machine. He's able to get by Kiss, so that'll put him back on the lead lap. So the final car, the first car off the lead lap is Johannes Lehmann in the 36 machine as he just made a pit stop. He re-enters the racetrack. About to go another lap down here as the 64 car almost puts him a lap down there. He just made it out before him, but there's only like 3 car lengths back to Nelamishki's. Now, if Nelamishki's gets past him, that'll put him 2 laps down, and wouldn't that be something extraordinary? That would be extraordinary because the first driver off of the lead lap would be 2 laps down, not 1. That'd be pretty extraordinary. But now when we think about it here, points leader Frank Shatterick down pit lane, or he was down pit lane, came back out onto the racetrack. He now is the first driver off.
Caution!
Caution on the speedway for the
over
100 laps, and the 50's in it. That's the 9 machine. The 2
wow!
in it. And the 22 smoking. That's Michael Kravzik. He's on pit lane. Let's take a look at what happened if we can.
Yeah. Wow. The 22. I think he got loose.
It's loose off of the corner, and it looks like as that was happening, the 9 car locked up for the incident and gets hit in the back end by the 50 machine. So a big junkyard on the front straightaway, all started by Michael Kravzik and the 22 machine. Kravzik currently in 10th, 13 laps down, but now this really works out for Mark Kiss.
Wow!
Instead of risking going a lap down, because he stayed out for so long. Instead, the caution flew at just the right time as he was roughly 65 laps into his green flag stint. He comes down for fuel and tires and will still stay on the lead lap. Isn't that something?
I'm just watching that 50. He came flying in there.
Yeah, the 22 spun, hit the inside wall, of course, on the front straightaway. The 9 car checked up Thomas Nolden, and the 50 machine points leader Frank Shaterik just was not really aware of his surroundings, it seems, and he got into the back end of the 9 machine. So Nolden not going to be very happy about that, because now this is hurting his points campaign even more. Again, still 8 positions separate him and Shaterik, but still, he wants to gain as much points, or at least, I guess in his case, because he's 64 laps down, he wants to be able to, how do I word this? Get the smallest amount of points possible between, I can't quite word it, because no doubt about it, he's gonna fall down in terms of points compared to Shaterik, because Shaterik is 7 spots up the running order and Nolden is in 12th while Shaterik is in 5th. So no doubt about it, Nolden is gonna fall behind Shaterik still in the points lead, and Shaterik is able to open his points gap. But what Nolden wants to do is just, how do I word this? Make the amount between him and Shaterik. He wants that to be the smallest it can possibly be. I guess that's the best I can word it here. So he's just gonna want to try to get as close on the racetrack to Shaterik as he can, but I don't think, being 64 laps down, that it's really going to be that easy for him.
No, it will not be.
But there's still multiple races left in the season, so Thomas Nolden can come back. It's not a huge points gap between him and Shaterik. It's only 9 points to be precise, so if Shaterik just runs into some poor luck in the next couple of races and Nolden can put together some nice finishes, he may just be able to grab that points lead. So the point standings very, very close here in this virtual oval Class A series.
Last car on the lead lap will be the 36 machine of Johannes Lehmann in 4th place. 3rd place being Niliminski's 2nd Tiller, and 1st place being Mark Kiss.
The next time we will be broadcasting the virtual oval Class A series will be on Sunday, November 27, 2016. The series heads to Daytona International Speedway. And while that is going to be one interesting race, that'll be the Firecracker 250. Again, at Daytona International Speedway, that is 2 weeks from now. Make sure to keep it locked to UFM TV. Hit that subscribe button to be notified of when that broadcast goes live or any of our other broadcasts. Speaking of other broadcasts, our next broadcast takes place this evening. The season finale for the Winstall Cup Series presented by the Winstall Cup Racing Series League here on iRacing. It's their season finale, the 10th race out of 10 of the season. And while it's going to come down to one heck of a race at Atlanta Motor Speedway, Patrick Campbell 2 with the championship almost locked up. However, these circumstances will cause him to lose the point standings. Actually, we will tell you more on that later as the green flag flies yet again. Mark Kiss, your race leader at the restart, but Harry Tiller fighting back on the outside. Kiss clears him. Watch the
Tiller with the crossover.
Onto the trioval. Will he use the dog leg? Yes, he will. Able to clear the 34. Yes, he is. Just notices ahead. Here comes Niliminski's to the inside. Not quite able to get it done, but look at Tiller already opening about 3 car lengths back to Kiss. Maybe even 4, maybe even 5 now. Off of the corner, lap 142 put in the books. 45 laps of racing remain.
Oh, wow. That restart, Harry Tiller got behind Mark Kiss in the corner, and Kiss slid up, and Tiller took advantage.
Yeah, Tiller just slowed up a little bit more than usual so he could get the car pointed in the right direction, and it all worked out great as Kiss washed up in 2, as you said, Dylan. And, well, Tiller was ready to pounce. He looked to the inside. 44 laps remain of racing here, folks. And this race is still far from over. We may be past halfway, well past halfway, but still, 44 laps of racing, that's a long time for drivers to duke it out. However, only 4 drivers remain on the lead lap. Those drivers are, of course, your race leader, Harry Tiller. 2nd, Mark Kiss. 3rd is Florian Niliminski, who, in fact,
making a move.
He's going to nose ahead of Kiss here. That's the fight. And then, of course, the final driver on the lead lap is Johannes Lehmann, who's behind them by 1.2 seconds on the racetrack. He rounds out your drivers on the lead lap. Up to that fight for second, Nelomishkis is able to clear Kiss off of the corner.
Kiss is not having the best of luck when it comes to Nelomishkis. He's been passed every single time those two have met. I'm pretty sure of that. 34 gets loose and he slides way up the track in 3 and 4.
And that's going to hurt him because here comes Johannes Lehmann. He may be just under a second behind, which is a relatively gap, but also at the same time, if Kiss keeps doing what he's doing and overshooting corners and washing up into the marbles there, which by the way are really starting to build up, Lehmann may just be able to sneak by and grab that third position. He wants a bronze medal out of tonight's race, but you want to know who wants a gold medal? That is Harry Tiller in the 24 machine, and he is well on his way to doing so right now as he rounds turn number 4 and onto the front straightaway. 41 laps remain here at the start-finish line. This is the Hot and Dry Racing 300K. Just an interesting little fact for you viewers, Harry Tiller has led a total of 52 laps up to this point this season, which means he has led 26% of the laps that he has raced. And well, he hasn't participated in a whole lot of races compared to, points leader. Harry Tiller has only 2 races under his belt compared to points leader Frank Schitterick, who has 10 races under his belt. So, Tiller faring very well here, and although this will be his 3rd race this season for him, he's 17th in the point standings, and a win tonight will definitely boost him in the point standings. He's currently 316 points out of Schitterick's points lead. Schitterick has a total number of points of 508. But back to the racing here. Tiller looked like he was going to run away with it just a little bit earlier in the green flag stints here, but now Florian Nelomishki is working together a little bit with Mark Kiss, and they're closing up just a little bit. At least that's what I feel is happening. I don't know about you.
I feel like this was in the NAS race earlier that somebody I know was involved in. Very early in the race, there were a lot of wrecks and cautions, and middle of the race until about 10 to go, there weren't very many cautions.
Well, Mark Kiss falling behind Nelomishkis still a little bit. Mishkis, I just called him Mishkis. Nelomishkis has his eyes dead set on Harry. He wants to get that race lead, but it's going to be a difficult task. Harry Tiller has led the most laps up to this point, and well, has a very strong machine and looks well on his way to a victory. Out of turn number 2, Nelomishkis, though, is not going to go down without a fight. The gap staying about the same, not necessarily closing for Nelomishkis. It's just over a half a second. But you see Tiller now closing to Andrea's top in the 10th position, who is coincidentally in the number 10 Toyota Camry. He is currently 20 laps down on the racetrack. He is almost going to go 21 laps down now if Tiller catches up to him. But 35 laps remain here. Tonight's Hot and Dry Racing 300K. This afternoon's Hot and Dry Racing 300K, excuse me.
Yeah, tonight you will be seeing One Style Cup Series.
Yes, that is correct. And it's about a 3-car breakaway right now on the racetrack. It's Tiller, Nelomishkis, and Kiss. And then 4th place is Johannes Lehmann. He's the final driver on the lead lap. Out of the 4 on the lead lap, it's about 2 seconds back from 3rd place Kiss, who is that final driver in that lead pack, back to Johannes Lehmann. So Lehmann falling off just a little bit, but he's still in a decent range where if they get together, he will be able to pounce. The 10 machine of Andrea's top lets the leaders by, and he's also going to go down to the apron to let Lehmann by. The 10 machine not going to pit. It looked like he might be able to, it looked like he might have actually been pitting for a moment there, but actually he just was giving room to the leaders to go by. So he now goes 21 laps down. The next closest car to him on the racetrack is Wolf Dietrich Hodo, who's 7 laps down at the moment in the 9th spot. But speaking of laps down, points leader Frank Shitarik, currently the first driver off the lead lap, and if a caution flag were to come out, he will receive the lucky dog. But at the same time, 3 other drivers join him on that very same boat. The next closest car to him on the racetrack is going to be, that is Tobias Sievers. Then you also see Gabriel Storr and Zalt Balgi all fighting, all 4 of those drivers fighting for that lucky dog, and they're all within the same pack too, which really is starting to make it get a little heated up.
Yeah, it is hot and dry, and means they don't have very much water in their bodies, and that means their brain might be not working properly.
There's anything but water in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
30 laps remain here on the racetrack, 31, excuse me. For your race leader, Harry Tiller, who has just over a half a second to second, Florian Nelomishkis. And then it's another half a second back to Mark Kiss in the 3rd spot, who's beginning to run away from 4th position, Johannes Lehman. Of course, Lehman, the final driver on the lead lap, 3.950, the difference between him and race leader Harry Tiller at the line. But what we should take a look at is, again, that fight for the lucky dog. It's Frank Shitarik leading that 5-car train, and coincidentally, he's also leading the drivers off the lead lap. And then there's Wolf Dietrich Holdo, who's 7 laps down, kind of getting within the mix of the other 3 in that train. Those 3 drivers all trying to chase down Shitarik, because that will just be the deciding factor to see who gets the lucky dog the next time a caution flag flies, if a caution does come out. But right now, it's Sievers, Storr, and Balgi right there. And Storrs, we haven't talked about him much here tonight in the 16 machine, only about how he was about to go a lap down. I believe that may have been the only screen time he got up to this point. But now he's in the mix of a huge fight for that lucky dog. But the driver's going at it very hard, and that train is allowing Shitarik to just run away with it. And if he can just stay at that same pace, the next time a caution flag flies, he will get that lucky dog, because separating him and the rest of the drivers competing for the lucky dog is Wolf Dietrich Holdo, who's 7 laps down, but he's right in between. Now, I know the drivers behind him aren't on the lead lap, but they're closer to what he is, so maybe he should be racing them just a little bit easier than he is right now. He's going at it very aggressively, with the other drivers fighting for the lucky dog. I don't know if they're going to be that happy about it, but he's going to give them the outside, and they will go blowing by. So now what they have to do is back up to Shitarik now and try to steal that lucky dog out from underneath him. But it's not going to be easy, as it's a relatively big gap on the racetrack back to the next driver.
Yeah. 16 of Gabriel Storr. He's been doing pretty well. He's been staying on the lead lap a lot of the race, and he's on a 30 lap stint with those tires, so he's going to be definitely a little bit slower than the car behind him, even though, well, not really. Their tires are the same laps all. But who knows, maybe.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, so taking a look back at the gap. Oh, it did close just a little bit between Tiller and Nelomishkis. But it looks like Tiller very strong in turns 1 and 2 of this lap. Very odd number 24 machine. Looks like he may just be on his way to the fastest lap of the green flag run, aside from the first couple of laps when his tires were fresh out of the box, per se. But off of the corner, that'll leave 24 laps of racing to be decided. And the gap opened just a little bit by 300ths of a second. But nonetheless, it's still opening up. And a chain's in position. If you see on the left-hand side of your screen, Sievers is able to get by Storr. They're going at it side by side now. Storr to the inside and 1 and 2.
Whoa! Almost contact.
He's not quite there yet. Yes, he is. Sievers just able to restore, but this is the fight for the lucky dog, and these guys going at it very hard is not going to help them, because their main priority is to get up to Shitarik to get that lucky dog. And while Shitarik is just running away from them right now, but nonetheless, very entertaining 3-car train as Sievers pulling away from that train just a little bit, and now it's a fight between Gabriel Storr and Zsolt Balgi. Balgi in the 84 machine off of turn number 2 has the draft through the tri-oval of Gabriel Storr. Will he make a move? I don't think he's close enough to do it just yet, but a small obstacle for Shaterik on the other hand. He has Michael Kravzik ahead of him in the 22 machine. Kravzik currently 38 laps down in the 11th spot after he fell victim to some internet issues a little bit earlier.
Yeah, interesting things have been going on. That 16 got from something, front right damage, but Bolye goes around the 16. Side by side through the dog leg, Bolye will not take the apron. He gets loose. That hands it back off to Gabriel Starr.
Taking a look back at this lead fight, look at how small the gap has gotten, Dylan.
Wow.
The lapped car, that's the 9 machine of Nolden here, separating second place Florian Nelomishkis and third place Mark Kiss. Kiss, however, really falling off of Nelomishkis. You probably wouldn't have gotten to him anyway. Here comes the 9 to the inside. Nelomishkis not going to be able, not being very happy about that because now he has a lapped car between him and the person who he wants to get by. And a huge cluster of cars, the 10 machine taking it down to the bottom to let them by. So a huge cluster, but now bottom line, Thomas Nolden gets in between race leader Harry Tiller and second place Florian Nelomishkis, and that is not what Nelomishkis wanted to see because he wants to get up to Tiller, but now with the car in between them, almost contact the 9 machine. I think
wow!
Thomas Nolden may be on much pressure, but he really needs to lay off because if he gets into the 24, it's nobody's fault but his here because he is not on the lead lap by any means. 69 laps down.
Is on a 2-lap stint. He just pitted.
And he's able to clear him using the outside line. Look at this. The side-by-side battling between and Tiller. Here comes Nelomishkis with a huge wiggle off of the corner, but nonetheless, he wants that lead, and he's hungry for it here, folks. 18 laps remain here at Phoenix International Raceway, and this is getting good. Grab your popcorn, folks. Through the trioval.
Wow. That is what we call interesting. Getting way up close to that wall. That wall might be a comfort zone, but it will not be comforting once you hit it.
Yeah, it may be called safer barrier, but the key word is barrier there. It hurts when you make contact with it. And also hurts your machine as well.
Yeah, it gives you a bit of damage, a good bit as well. 24 Tiller. He's either losing speed, or he's just not driving the line that he was about 20 laps ago.
Taking a look back at that fight for the Lucky Dog, Gabriel Storr fighting again with Zolt Bolye back where they left off about 10 laps ago. Bolye to the quarter panel.
Oh!
16, what a save, but here comes Bolye to the inside.
Wow!
Side by side into the corner.
He overdrives the corner, but who knows? He might get a run off. No, he will not.
He's able to get past Gabriel Storr, so that gets him just that much closer to Frank Shaterik, who is your series points leader and is also well on his way to a Lucky Dog, but a caution, Dylan, doesn't appear to be anywhere whatsoever on the radar.
16 loose again. He might be that caution. Very loose off that corner.
He's very close to going around exit. And I know corner speed is very important here in oval racing, but also you actually have to be able to make it off of the corner too. And Storr definitely appears to be fighting his car when it comes to trying to exit corners. As you saw, 2 laps in a row, make that 3 laps in a row now. He got a huge wiggle off of turn number 4.
Yeah.
14 laps of racing left. Go. Here at Phoenix International Raceway for their hot and dry racing 100K. This is the virtual oval Class A series. And well, Harry Tiller has led the most laps far tonight. But Florian Nelomishkis wants to put a halt to that, and he wants to do so right at the right time and steal the lead right from underneath Harry Tiller's nose. He wants to go to victory lane here tonight. Who doesn't?
It's Phoenix. A lot of things can happen. Because we saw in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series here earlier in the year, Carl Edwards and Kevin Harvick beaten door to door to the line. Who knows? Maybe this could happen here.
You never know. And it looks like a little bit later in the run, Nelomishki's had closed in, and then even later in the run, Tiller opened it back up again. So, I don't know, it's up and down, and it's just a matter of when will Nelomishki's be faster and when will Tiller be faster? Because that is the deciding factor of this race, no doubt about it. Nelomishki's closed about 200ths of a second last time across the start-finish line. 11 laps of racing remain here, and the car's very spread out on the racetrack. The caution flag doesn't appear to be coming anytime soon, so I don't know here, this fight for the lucky dog may be interesting, but it also may not pay off for any drivers whatsoever if a caution does not even fly. But take a look at this. The fight for 7th and 8th on the racetrack. Bully into the wall. Saves it though. He was racing side by side that was Tobias Sievers, and he made contact off of turn number 2 with the outside wall. Almost spun, but used the dog leg to his assistance to save it. But here comes the 16 of Gabriel Storrs. Side by side, Storrs is able to get by. He's up into the 7th spot now, Dylan.
Wow. That's the only word I have about that. Just wow.
What a turn of events now. Balyi falls 2 spots down the running order. He goes from 6th to 8th in 1 lap after he hit the wall out of 2. Got just a little tight. And I was surprised he saved that. It's a rough transition from the banking to the dog leg, but it worked out. He was able to save it, but now he's going to try to catch back up to Gabriel Storr. And although it may be very hard to do, he's also going to try to get back up to Tobias Sievers as well. But the driver who these guys will not be able to jump to, it appears, is Frank Shaterik, your series points leader. I can't say it enough. He's currently in the 5th position right now. This is going to be a very good points week for him because 2nd place in the standings is, of course, Thomas Nolden, and the 9 machine. It's only a 9-point difference, but being 7 spots ahead of him on the racetrack can almost guarantee you to gain on him in the standings. So, very good points week, regardless of where he finishes here tonight for Frank Shaterik. And, well, 8 laps of racing remain here, and it's about the same. The gap has been staying about the same between race leader Harry Tiller and 2nd place Florian, Nelomishki's. But if you take a look, Tiller closing up now to Wolf Dietrich Hodo. Going to put Hodo yet another lap, but will Hodo make it difficult, or will he let him get by? Now, if you're the 24 machine of Harry Tiller, you want it to be easy, but if you're the 64 of Florian Nelomishki's, you do not want it to be easy because you want to get by Tiller. You want Tiller to be held up on lap traffic. He almost gets held up just a tad bit. The 30 didn't make it too easy, but
Nelomishki's.
So now Nelomishki's has to get by him now. He does
Gap's
so.
opened up 2/10 in about 3 or 4 laps.
And it's very unfortunate because Florian Nelomishki's had an extremely strong car and looked like he may just be able to reel Tiller back in. But then just a tad bit later in the run, Tiller opened the gap back up and found more speed in his car. So some tire conserving going around the racetrack. 5 laps remain, as you see in the top left corner of your screen. 5 laps to go, and well, right now, Nelomishki's needs a miracle to get by as he makes contact with the outside wall just a little bit, it looked like for a moment. He's gonna need a miracle if he wants to grab that race lead from Harry Tiller and get the victory here. Side by side, him and Michael Kravzik, he's able to clear him. Going side by side is not gonna help his cause.
The only person that Nelomishki can count on is Andreas Top to slow down Harry Tiller. And Top will probably take about 2 laps to get to, so with 2 laps to go, that probably won't do very much.
And also we saw before Andreas Top very polite, to the lead lap drivers. He's gone out of his way to even go down all the way to the inside wall, all the way down to the apron there to let them by. Will he do the same this time? Let's see here. He has a 24.
Yes, he will.
Yes, he's going to take it all the way down to the dog leg. So we'll give the 24 the room to get by him, and now it really looks like Florian Nelomishki's needs a miracle right now. And I don't know about you, Dylan, but it seems that Mark Kiss is actually closing up to Nelomishki's as well. So we could see a fight for second more so than a fight for the race win. But 2 laps to go at the start-finish line for your race leader, Harry Tiller, and the roaring pack of NASCAR Sprint Cup Series V8s behind him.
These last 2 laps will definitely be interesting, especially if a caution comes out, because that will end the race.
Through turns 3 and 4, Harry Tiller off of the corner.
Sees that white flag waving. 1 lap to go.
1 mile of racing left. The hot Phoenix, Arizona sun here at Phoenix International Raceway. The hot and dry 300K. Well, May just going to Harry Tiller. He rounds the tri-oval for the final time. You see a fight for second and third back there between Florian Nelomishkis and Mark Kiss. Kiss with the dive bomb into the corner. He's not going to be able to get it done, so off of
He might.
Your race winner.
Oh my.
Harry Tiller.
Wow.
But look at that for a second. Who had it?
Nelomishkis. Barely. But Tiller, definitely happy with his finish, drifting it through the dog leg. I don't know how he did that. Drifting it through 3 and 4. Wow. Burn it down, Tiller.
User in your channel timed out.
Wow. The finish for second was very close.
User entered your channel.
Wow.
What a race.
The finish for second. Six hundredths of a second. Excuse me, 6.5 hundredths. That's close.
We will now run you through your finishing order. Of course, Harry Tiller goes to victory lane over second place Florian Nelomishkis, who had a drag race to the line between himself and Mark Kiss. Rounding out your drivers finishing on the lead lap is the 4 of Johannes Lehman. 5th, your points leader and a driver who will remain your points leader, Frank Shaterik in the 50 machine comes home 5th. The first driver off the lead lap, 1 lap down. Tobias Sievers, a hard charging number 2 Ford Fusion, comes home in the 6th spot. 7th goes to Gabriel Storr. 8th is Zult Balyi, who had a very up and down night, or excuse me, day, shall I say. 9th goes to Wolf Diedrich Hodo, and then rounding out your top 10, Andreas Top, who's coincidentally in the 10 machine.
Yeah, the next 2 drivers, Michael Krafzik will finish 39 laps down, and Thomas Nolden doesn't even come up as many laps down. Fastest lap goes to Mr. Balyi. He would have been the one with a 27.738. And that will end us here. Hope you guys really enjoyed this live stream, and as always, we will see you guys later tonight.